Welcome, welcome. How you doing today, Red Snow? Tell me why you think veganism is evil. And maybe it proves your intellect within your first sentence. So I can decide whether I keep playing WoW or I need to open some sources to share with you. Because they're just as guilty of the thing that proclaim is immoral. If they go about the world feeling like they're above people, it's essentially an elaborate form of narcissism. Okay. Explain. I think I don't need to go to food sources for that. So, you are going to argue about the fact that for me living, animals also have to die? Is that what you're referring to? Like animals dying on the fields where our vegetables grow? Or what is the point you're trying to make? Because I can tell you almost any point you can bring up is a point I've heard before, and I'm willing to discuss with you. Horticulture this year. Animals die in worse ways than conventional farming slaughter methods. Okay. Why do you think it's, first off, why do you think it's a worse way? I mean, you're talking about like mice and insects dying on a field. Maybe birds too, but those are usually the animals that mice, insects, snakes, birds, fox, probably a bunch more. Okay, so Kimi has already brought out the argument. You do know that the animals that you eat also need to be fed. So the animals that are being fed will end up in a lot more people dying during agriculture since animals eat a lot more. To end up being calories to be eaten instead. On the other hand, if you buy meat in the store, you are directly cows eat grass, so it doesn't apply. Okay, so you're bullshit, is that what you're saying? About 5% of the animals eat grass and 95% of the animals used for meat are being fed with stuff like soy, etc. Animal feed being grown. On the other hand, you directly finance the killing of an animal versus financing you eating normal food. When on the side deaths happen, cows are only fed with corn, etc. near the end of their life. Okay, so that is bullshit. Let me open the document real quick. So tabbing out, scrolling. There's a document. Fire thoughts because cows eating grass is what makes their farming economical. Yeah, but you just lie. It's sexually wrong. It's literally not true. You're extremely uneducated on the subject. Scrolling. Okay, studio mode. Okay, I need to change this. I need to lower my music. I'll show you some sources in a second, don't worry. You're talking about averages. Yeah, we're talking about averages because nothing else really matters. And the majority doesn't eat from farms. I assume you're from the US? Sorry. I'm from the UK. Okay, even better. Okay, let me transition. Okay, first off, here's a little graphic. For you to help you understand. As a vegan, you kill the plants that you consume plus potentially the field animals. As a carnist, you kill the animals that you eat and a majority more of the field animals and the plants that you consume for the field animals, etc. Now this is German, so I need to look for my sources real quick. Wait. Have a bunch of links here. Let me see which are the right ones. Majority of the feed is ground. Then quickly look through your sources. Yeah, I'm just finding the right one. This is sources for any vegan topics. This is animal feed. Plant seed. Shit, what the fuck? Why am I not finding this? Okay, wait, let me check this one real quick. Cropland use, grazing land use. How much land do countries use for agriculture? Land use by crop. Land use by food type. Land use per 100 grams of protein. For lamb and mutton is 184. So this is just the land size. We can use it as a first choice. Here's the source. As you can see, it's a very credible source in this case. So not to be argued against, the biggest one is lamb and mutton, then beef, then we have cheese, milk. And when you go down here, oh, here's wheat and rice. Damn, that's almost like 50 times as much. Interesting. Here's a quote from Montana State University. Even though cattle may be finished on grain, they spend most of their lives on pasture. Hey, it isn't until the last 4 to 6 months that they're moved into a feedlot for a finishing diet. Interesting. Said like, in case of, I guess, land use of categories. No, that's not the one we're looking for. link to where that quote was used. Let me check further. 'Cause this is... there should be a second source that I'm not finding right now. The general idea is cows eat grass to get to a decent size, but grass fed alone makes the meat taste so nice to the feed. Okay, so, so let's say your statement is correct. Do you think feeding a cow for 4 to 6 months is more efficient than instead using that feed to feed a human for 4 to 6 months? Cows eating grass equals 3. I see. Maybe I'm gonna lower the size of my model for a bit and instead move myself up. That looks a bit nicer. Cows eating those 4 to 6 months is more efficient than feeding a human, yes. But that is factually wrong in terms of calorie. Like just looking at calories and protein, that's beyond inefficient. Because the majority of the calories are gained through eating grass. It's 4 to 6 months. Okay. How big is a cow when it's ready to be slaughtered? Shut the fuck up. 1,100 pounds to 1,500 pounds. So 1,500 pounds in kilogram, 680 kilogram. How much grain does a cow eat per day? 3 to 4 to 5 kilograms. So if we then calculate 3 times 6 months, you said, so let's take 180, that's 540 kilogram of grain. Cow can provide 430,000 calories. Really? How much calories does a whole cow have? 1.1 billion? That's absolute bullshit, right? 783,000 a whole cow? 60% protein, 40% fat. Okay, that seems more realistic. Okay. Wait, so let me read up on what you all said. The general idea is cows eat. Also, cows eating grass is free. Cows eating versus 4 to 6 months is efficient. But the seed conversion seems to be in the range of 5 to 20 times more calories consumed than produced. That's what I'm thinking. Oh my god, why is an error happening? I need to switch to my just chatting real quick because I need to check whether or not my NordVPN is on. Good, it is on. Apologies for that. So, 5 to 20 times. Can you share the source for that, Kimmy? Oh wait, this is an interesting one. Causes of deforestation of the Brazilian Amazon. Cow gives at least 430,000 calories. It at least eats 2.1 million calories. Tables. So this is the causes. Let me read through the tables real quick. It's way too zoomed in. Oh my god. It's way too fucking big. But I don't know if you guys can see if I'm zooming. The production cost, I don't care that much. I was looking at percentage. Oh yeah. Accumulated monopoly deforestation up to 2000. But very easy one. We all know that rainforest is deforested mostly for soy, right? How much soy is used for vegan food? We're gonna Google very simple. Per in percentage. Do we have our world in data? If the world adopted a plant-based diet, we would reduce global agricultural land use from 4 to 1 billion hectares. So divided by 4. Which speaks for the point that the majority of the animals are feeding off of agriculturally made food, right? This one we already had earlier. Land use of foods per 100 grams of protein. Oh wait, no, that's the same graph. Land use of foods per kilogram. Land use of foods per 1,000 kilocalories, and this is per kilogram of food. So even for a kilogram of food, it's even worse for fucking shit. Okay, so here we have global land use for agriculture across different diets. Current global diet, 57% is used to produce direct human food. 43% is used to produce crops fed to animals. So 43% just used for animal feed, which is not grass, by the way. They're not talking about grass in this case. Total of 4.1 billion hectare, 4.13 hectare used. No beef or mutton, which is already the same, divided by half. No beef, mutton, or dairy is just the 1.1 million. No red meat, dairy, or poultry, eggs and fish only is 1.1, and vegan is even lower. So, as you can see, if you'd eat no red meat, dairy, or poultry, and only live off of eggs and fish, it would already reduce it by 3.13 billion hectares. And last, we change it to 1 billion if you go fully vegan. I can post the source here. Kimmy posted cool sources, which I'm gonna open on stream as well. Beef cattle seed efficiency rate. Seed conversion ratio is the ratio of dry matter. Kimmy, can you do me a favor and make a quick Google Doc and save all the sources and write down roughly next to them what they are? I know that's a lot of work, but I'm very thankful that you do that for me. Thank you. Peak conversion rate is 4.5 to 7.5, with a lower number being more desirable as it would indicate that a steer requires less feed per pound of gain. Let me DM you real quick. Okay. Okay, that's one of the links. Did I open both of the links? No, I didn't open the second link. Boom. But now plates are eating food. Okay, that's probably the same. 86% of global livestock feed intake and dry matter consists of feed. Oh, 86% even. Anyway, it actually does seem to be contingent on how long the finishing phase is and what exactly it is composed of. For example, the finishing diet seems to be supplemented with 20% grass. So it's 80% feed. Livestock uses 2 billion hectares of grassland, which is about 700 million could be used as a cropland. So that ends up being the same as this graphic suggests. That makes sense. This seems like a very good article. Livestock consume 1/3 of global cereal production and uses about 40% of global arable land. Holy shit. Modest improvement in feed conversion rates can prevent further expansion of arable land dedication to feed production. I think there's an easier solution than that. So you can easily get situations where the cows provide more calories than the finishing grains do towards humans anyway. Okay, you can, but it does not happen currently, and saying that it does is factually wrong, as we've just proven to you. And in those specific cases, vegans cause more animal deaths. Even that is wrong, because 80% feeding at a 4 to 5 calorie ratio is wrong. And it does indeed happen often. What is often to you? I think this graph, whoops. Yeah, I guess making it full screen. You see, we use 1 billion hectare. For you, it's being used 4.13 million hectare, which could roughly translate to, let's only use at the crossblend, you use 1.5 as much cropland as vegans do. Roughly. 50%, I don't know, yeah, you don't know exactly, but you're just bullshitting. But even the cows who go over on this ratio, it's extremely close to a vegan diet. I don't understand this hectare point, yeah, I can tell. 1 hectare being used to feed animals. Even if you say grass-feed animals exist and only finishing blah 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 bullshit crap, it is not happening currently. To a degree where it gets to the fact that you, as a meat eater, or anyone as a meat eater, can say that they kill less animals ever. I'm taking out the part of the pasture, which is 2.89 billion hectares, because that is arguably just the animals living there, ignoring the fact that cows might trample some animals too. We just ignore that, for the sake of your argument. Even with ignoring that, it is factually poor. Why does it show this? Yes, the pasture area is massive. Ignoring that, this is still more. This cropland, 704 million hectares, plus 538 million hectares is more than 1 billion hectares, right? I get your point. You're not getting mine. I understood your point and saying your point is wrong. Pasture area, not your feeding zone. Yes. Yes. We are ignoring the pasture part. I said this. 700 soil. Maybe you could move on to my next argument. Okay, yes, after you lost your first argument, we can gladly move on to the next one. This is entirely ignoring moral, even. But this is just purely looking at it from a product standpoint, by the way, which is completely bullshit. Yes, no one is talking about pasteuria, by the way. In case you didn't realize that after 5 minutes mentioning it. Okay, hit me with it. There are grass-fed only cows, especially in USA and Australia. Okay, let's do this. How many cows in US are grass-fed only? Let's go. 4 to 5%. What percent of grass cattle are grass-fed? Okay, so 95% aren't. Your argument is bullshit? So this point is whatever. Not talking about how many, this is just a smaller side point. To admit that eating the calories provided by these cows will cause fewer animal deaths than a vegan diet. Okay, wait. Let me answer the first question. Yes, I admit that technically, a less amount of animal die. Okay? This does not mean that less animals suffered. Because if I happen to get in a car accident, unfortunately, and I die, that is very unfortunate, but couldn't be avoided. It's a kind of natural death. However, having an animal only be bred for the sole point of killing them at some point is indeed suffering. A vegan argument is not the least amount of death, but the least amount of suffering. Random death is not suffering. Because we do not finance the fact that a cow is being not allowed to have a free will, etc. The animals that die on a crop field were free. How is a random death not suffering? Okay, so if you are locked into a prison for your entire life, would you consider that you suffer? Or would you be happy? Would you rather be free your entire life and randomly die in a car accident, or would you rather be in a prison your entire life and then be executed at the end of it? Which one do you prefer? Because the answer is obvious. In this case, it's not a loophole. So you've got a little loophole for yourself. When we don't kill animals, it's fine. We do not kill animals. Because you finance something to be killed? Yes, freedom, obviously. And this is the same thing. An animal that can be free on a field and happens to die is an unfortunate death, which cannot be avoided because the only way to avoid it is by not eating anything and dying myself. It's the suicide fallacy that they're talking about. Which would mean that I could only prevent death fully if I would suicide, which obviously isn't the proper solution. Animal lives on farms are typically quite excellent and usually has far less stress than living in the wild. You're comparing human freedom with animal freedom, which I disagree with. Okay. So you should which you disagree with. So you're saying any animals should be locked up, so instead of having mice die on a field, they should all be locked up some way? What do you say? What are you trying to say with which I disagree? I already understand that you don't think animals and humans are the same, even though we're both, mammals. I'm saying they do. Yes, the good example is, imagine an alien race came over here and that was a lot smarter than us, and they would start enslaving us. Only put us on fields, and are only to be fed. We are restricted on a small area, but we get fed pretty decently, let's argue that, for the rest of our lives and are going to chill there. Are you fine with that? Do you think that would be acceptable for you? I'm obviously not fine with that in the alien scenario. See, then your moral compass is not straight within your own self, because either you believe that stronger people get to decide over weaker, the stronger beings get to decide over weaker beings, or you don't. Because as I stated before, humans value freedom uniquely. Okay? But you don't know how a cow feels about the freedom, say, right? Like, you don't know how they wanna live their life. You don't give them the chance to live their life as they would want to. Your argument is actually that they're intelligent. Intelligence. Not literal physical strength, more like intelligence. If they are more intelligent and are able to enslave us, we are not necessarily physically stronger than a cow. But we are more intelligent than them and thus are able to breed them and keep them the way we do. While I don't think cows in this example have the conscious experience to know or want to live in the way that humans can imagine this. That's an interesting example. We don't need a source right now, so I'm going back to just shutting. And I'm gonna hide World of Warcraft. I think it's very bold to assume that they don't know that, or they can't make a decision for themselves when we just take the decision away. I'll try to summarize because this is getting muddled. If aliens farmed humans, I would find it immoral because it's restricting a unique trait, loving freedom that humans have. As animals, this trait cannot be found. Okay, then let's change it up. What about horses, for example? It is very known that horses like to have their freedom, run around, etc. Maybe that helps you out a little bit better for your example. Yet we are also locking them up in the same way that we're doing with cows. However, it is very proven and very obvious that horses like their freedom. Yet we are doing the same thing. Such is equally immoral, as you stated. Well, yes, if we keep horses contained and I'm against it, of course, but horses are not a widely used farm animal in the Western world. No, they're not used as a farm animal. We're using them for riding, we're using them for sports, etc. We're restricting their freedom. Also, that kind of freedom is different as it's more instinctual. Yes, but we're taking that away from them regardless, right? And you're saying it's immoral if the alien example, if they would do it to us? So then you would also have to agree with the fact that it should be immoral to do with horses. Can I just jump in quick to say that to live is to inevitably cause something else to die? It's a bad faith argument to say that because agriculture kills, that it's inherently worse than slaughter. Sure, I agree. What's your ultimate point? The ultimate point is that I don't believe we should restrict anyone's freedom. For no reason whatsoever. Oh god, I don't want to watch that. Let me just check it out shortly, but I really don't like watching this kind of stuff. Oh my god, I need to sign in to confirm my age. I saw the thumbnail, but I not, but these things make me legit cry. I say that's immoral for aliens to do it to humans, as our love for freedom comes from our ability to understand ourselves consciously. With horses different, they love freedom more down to instincts. So I don't like you just that was kind of pulled out of your asshole, not gonna lie. Like both love freedom, period. Restricting their freedom is immoral, period. That's how a consistent moral compass would go. Maybe by its own, yes, but I'm mainly just showing the hypocrisy of the vegan position. There is no hypocrisy of the vegan position because we try to minimize suffering. And as I pointed out before, animals can die on a daily basis. If a cow steps on a mice, that can happen in nature. It is inevitably gonna happen. If I farm agriculture crops for me, people can die. It is not comparable to the fact that you breed animals massively for daily consume or very regular consume of meat when it's the most inefficient thing to do. That is not even looking at the fact that if we wouldn't eat as much meat as we do and instead would focus more on agricultural food, we would be able to feed much more of the current human population as well. Got an argument regarding efficiency too. Okay. Then let me know. Think it's coming down to your subjective opinion what's considered a level of consciousness. Shut the fuck up, Pod. Here we go. Alright? Many grants the concept of pain is considered its sense of consciousness. No, that is not always the case, Abby. Consciousness is defined differently. But I'm still looking forward to the argument from Reginald. Pain is not defined. My message won't send. That's weird. Pain. Checking some articles here real quick on the side. Message failed to send. Oh my god, that's so annoying. Sorry, I have to deal with that. Think it's because of some heavy words. Yeah, that could be. So the grains, as mentioned before, the high energy feeds. Soy, these kinds of agriculture inputs that we feed to cows, pigs, chickens, they are the byproduct of human industry. For example, soy is used to make biofuel, and the leftover soy has what we feed to chickens and pigs. So without the animals to eat those foods, then we would have to dispose or burn them. In other words, animals reintroduce these cows back into human diet. They are incredible efficient. Okay, so I believe that some percentage of soy is being used for biofuel, etc. However, that is not the majority of them. The majority is being used to directly feed to animals. And we could instead directly feed that to us because soy has incredibly high protein amounts compared to meat, for example. It is indeed the majority. It is why soy is called... Okay, it is indeed the majority, my ad. How is soy used among... in the world? Like, I don't know, I just hate that you just spit out wrong things. In fact, almost 80% of the world's soybean crop is fed to livestock. Okay, argument done. 80% is fed to the livestock directly, period. You can Google that just typing how is soy used in the world, by the way. Look at the data closer. So I can find out that it's even more bullshit than they're saying. Okay, animal feed 70%, 19.2% direct human food, 3.8% goes to the industry. So you're saying of those 3.8% we use the leftover to feed to animals too? Is that your argument? So out of 3.8%, we use some parts to feed to animals, and that makes it more efficient? Okay, congrats, your point. That means 80% of the world can be vegans instead? And then the 3.8% we can feed to animals and those can continue eating meat. If that helps you justify your conscience, maybe. Oil is extracted from soy plants. This is a smaller part per weight of the soy plant. The rest, human and edible, is fed to pigs. The vast majority is given to animals. Okay, let's go back to our world and data. Browse by topic, food and agriculture. I'ma just type soy in the search bar and see if it finds it. Soybean production. Da 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 da. Oh god. Not against vegan emotional please at all. I don't understand what that sentence means in this case. It is mainly concerned with the logical arguments. How is soy used in the world? There is indeed no logic in abusing the animals the way we do. But even on a logical standpoint, this is out-arguable resources. Don't worry, I'm figuring this out. This is Europe only, I don't care. Don't worry, I will show you guys my browser again once I found some good stuff that is worth talking about. Learn more about this data. Let's see actors. This is not very good source-wise. Enjoy your coffee. Soybean use is worldwide. Please be appropriate. Article, graph, whatever. Soybeans in human consumption, animal agriculture as fuel source, as renewable ingredient, okay, whatever. Can I get percentages or something, or? Kinda agree, I just think the same argument can be applied to veganism. We're not abusing animals, in case you still didn't understand that part. I find the data, okay. The thing is, that comes down to the same argument as before, right? Because essentially, okay, it doesn't come down to the same argument at all, but the sentence that you guys just talked about before, animals are not being abused if they happen to die. Fed to livestock. Why is this not very good? Sure, saw some blah blah blah, impact on climate. Oh, what? I don't give a like, I do give a slight shit, but please just give me a source. What is soybeans used for? U.S. soy. Maybe that helps for the argument. Poultry and livestock feed make up to 97% of soybean meal used in the US. Yes, soybean meal is a vital component of feed. I don't know if this is a credible source, but this, I guess, can post links here. You can. However, if you abuse the right of posting wrong links, you will quickly go bye-bye, just as a reminder. Anyways, this page, you need to scroll down to... Okay. Drivers of deforestation, okay. Chef tropical deforestation, yeah, okay, that's just the countries. What are the drivers of tropical deforestation? Number 1 is beef. Just seeing this data on your link on a site saying soybean production. Oh no, they mean the world of soy. You can't search it because I can't. Yeah, no worries, I will find it. The world soy, that is. It is used for food, fuel, or animal feed. Direct human food is about 20%. Animal seed in this case is 76%. Poultry 37% pig, 20% aquaculture, 5.6 other animals, 4.9 dairy, bees, pets, soybeans fed directly to livestock. Huh? But that's exactly my argument. I'm confused. On this link, oh wait, soybeans are they used for food, fuel, feed, or fuel? Is this the one you talk about? Processed animal feed, vegetable oil, 220 million. If you look to the animal feed portion, look at the right-hand side. Soybeans processed to soy cake for feed. The direct soybeans fed to animals is only 7% of animal feed. Thus, majority of soy we give to animals are byproducts of our industry. But why isn't it said here? Like you just bring up an argument out of a graphic which is not visible inside this graphic. If you make that statement, I need a source for the statement. The last statement you made. Because from this graphic here... Okay, let me read the text. We might therefore conclude that increased soy demand for soy has been driven by a growing appetite for meat, blah blah blah. But to double check, we should look beyond this static single view and see how demand has changed over time. In the chart, we see allocation of soybeans to 3 categories. Products include animal feed from soybean cake, about 70% of global demand, soybean oil, and industrials such as biofuels, direct human foods. Direct animal feed is soybeans fed directly to livestock rather than processed into soybean cakes first. We see most of this growth come from the increased demand for processed soy, animal feed, biofuels, vegetable oils. This rise is particularly steep since 1990. Okay, so in the paragraph you posted, soybean cake, some refer to soybeans high meat, pasteurization, heat treatment, and extraction processing of soybeans, all extracted from the soybeans to leave a high protein-rich product. For example, we don't feed humans soybean cake. No, but we could use the soybean to make a different product instead. But we're making the most protein-based product regardless of taste in this case, right? That's FYI. The majority of the direct soybean feed to animals is to horses, I think, because horses can't healthy eat. You mean out of the 7% directly feed to animals? Okay. But it doesn't say it's a byproduct anywhere. It says it's a direct product. Okay, so then let's go... Oh, wait, let me switch scene. Like, I'm not saying that you have no argument to be made here. I'm saying you have no basis to make this argument out of the sources that you provided. I'm ready to listen to you. But it needs some more sources in this case. Soybeans processed soy cake. Okay, how is soy cake made and are there byproducts? But the point still stands essentially here. No, it doesn't. Oh, okay. Let me... I'll say it made... Oh my god. For animals. Whatever! I can't Google because I wrote it wrong. Oil extract. Yes, you are misunderstanding the article. They're extracting the oil into vegetable oil to be used to be fed to the animals because the vegetable oil has the highest amount of calories or proteins. I don't remember which one. Okay, that is readable by the article. Okay, use in animal feed. Globally, about 98% of soybean meal is used as animal feed out of the soybean production, blah, 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 about 40% was exported soybeans. Of the crushed tonnage, 90% was covered as soybean oil and the remainder was covered as soybean meal. Most of the remaining soybean meal produced in the US was exported, has been estimated that of soy meal fed to animals in the US, 48% said to poultry, 26 swine, blah blah blah. Also, this implies, okay, globally about 2% of soybean meal is used as for soy flour, and other products of human consumption, okay? Soybean oil, let's see. It's a vegetable oil extracted from the seeds of soybean. It's one of the most widely used consumed cooking oils. And second most consumed vegetable oil. As a drying oil, processed soybean oil is also used as a base for printing inks and oil paints. Applications. Soybean drying oils, medical uses. Okay, there's no saying for biofuel, as you stated, by the way. We do use soy oil as cooking oil too, but mainly for fuel. I know this is Wikipedia, so not very credible in this case. But there's no list for biofuel. That's why soybeans are so economical for farmers. They sell it to the fuel industry first, get big payments, and fuel industry gives the leftovers to farms. After processing for oil, the soy cakes are largely inedible for humans. Well, I mean, regardless, we could have instead used all that soy, these 76%, for this, and it would be a lot more protein and calorie efficient than using it on animals. What makes animals efficient is that they turn those calories back into human edible calories. Yeah, because we are not very scientific and there's no possible that we could possibly turn soy cake into animal food. Because humans aren't very skilled at that. So we can use all that soy to feed humans, but suddenly your biofuel industry now lacks an important input. What would need to happen is that agricultural lands expands by 2 times in order to feed the soy to humans while keeping the bio industry running. Yeah, but I don't give a shit. About how much of world fuel is biofuel? About 4.3%. So we lose 4.3% of our biofuel. That's even ignoring the fact that not all of the biofuel is made from this. It's only 4.3% of the world's fuel. This is just how a capitalist system runs. Well, you might have seen the vegan tag in my title, but there's also another tag that you might have missed, which would make all of this make sense. Because I'm saying massively increase profits. Permanent profits don't mean happy humans. Yes, I am indeed a communist. I believe that capital profit is not everything. I don't give a shit about the lost biofuel because it has no value to human society. Because if we as human society would value anything other than profit, we would not be using, or we would transition off of fuel as quick as we can. So I just seen vegan and went off. I do enjoy vegan debates. Okay, so the thing is, I think veganism is almost inevitably not gonna work in a capitalist society overall. Or maybe potentially it will at some point, but not short-lived. Because we're not looking at what's the best for everyone, rather than looking at what brings the most profit. And as you say, all the profits are some way intertwined into each other, meaning there's a endless system to maximize profit. So in that sense, I would agree with you that potentially profits would be lower for a few years. However, at some point, I think veganism will overtake inevitably, simply because the profit of keeping animals is a lot more expensive than just growing meat itself. Not growing meat, than just growing crops and selling those, making them into good products. But yes, I do believe lab-grown meat is also a good way to move forward. Not like literal meat. Also, on the other hand, which you might have not have heard, but there's also lab-grown, what is it called in English? Cheese bacteria. This is probably not the terms. I'm not a native English speaker, but the cheese bacteria also exists without having to pasteurize animal milk now. So cheese will also be available vegan soon, completely without the involvement of meat. Cows. Which would then lead to the fact that it will just simply be cheaper. Because, that's just sensible, right? If you can make it in a lab, it will be cheaper. And capitalism can provide for that. So can communism. Usually people that argue the way that you right now don't fully understand what communism is supposed to do. Also, lab-grown meat meant looks gross, but I think it might taste okay. I haven't looked at how it looks. Also, don't really care until the product is done and available. I'm kind of educated on communism too. Can you define communism? Because I feel like defining something is a good start into a conversation, because then I can correct you or agree with you. There's two definitions, really. Then give me both of them. No, I feel you, Kimmy. I feel you. The idea of communism is a stateless, classless society where the workers are the ones which own the means of production. Yeah. However, in reality, this is impossible to achieve, right? Not practically speaking, communism is a centrally planned economic system. Yes, it is impossible to achieve right now. You can't just instantly transition towards communism. That's why the step of socialism exists. It is predicted that communism can't just exist out of nowhere. As Mike said, that needs to be a step of capitalism. to industrialize the land, socialism to take care of the needs, communism to finalize it. Those are the steps. There always needs to be the middle steps of socialism to establish a potential communist society, because also there needs to be a shit ton of education before it can properly work. A centrally planned economic system is the economic system that communism follows. While on the other hand, it tries to undermine discrimination of any sorts, tries to give everyone to their needs, while everyone provides or contributes to their ability. However, that practical centralized economic step has been tried many times in history. It didn't work out too good. Do you think Amazon is successful? Like Amazon, the brand where I'm streaming on, essentially. Do you think the company is successful? One is a philosophical belief of communism that all humans are blank states, right? Amazon is successful. Amazon internally works with the planned economic system. So saying it doesn't work is kind of silly, I would say. I've got a few issues with communism. A philosophical belief communism is that all humans are blank slates. No, it's just that all humans are equal and all humans deserve to live and exist. Amazon is a private company. No, it doesn't matter. The economy works within that system. It's just an example. And my issue with centrally planned economic system is that it will never be able to match the efficiency of a free market. You mean in the sense of hiding information from each other instead of working together with the same information to make the best product? Or in the sense that people try to compete to make the least shit product to bring on the market? Because any product we get at the moment will break within a few years because else I can't sell it again? Or maybe you should check out my favorite example of the unbreakable glass. I made a video on that. So in the GDR, the German Democratic Republic, the socialist state, they invented a glass which was essentially unbreakable. And after the GDR collapsed, this glass patent was trying to be sold, but no one wanted to buy it simply for the fact that unbreakable glass can only be sold once, so there's no infinite profit. At least we get products under capitalism. Under a communist system, you don't get any of this stuff at all. Haha, the iPhone kind of argument, because we both know that's bullshit, so at least try. I think this is simplistic analysis here with the glass. No, it's an example. It's an example. It's an example for the fact that capitalism doesn't need to make the best product. Under communism, where we would look for making the best for society, we could have the best product. I don't think competition is what You can buy unbreakable glass, yeah, but that's not the case. This glass was actually nearly unbreakable. Like, what is your point? If you don't understand it, I strongly suggest you to watch this video. I can post it. Do you agree that products under capitalism can break easily? Do you also agree that they are purposefully built to break easily? Makes the glass unbreakable is the shape. No, it does not. It's a technique of how the glass is made. You don't need to argue about the glass if you don't know about the glass. I suggest to watch it instead. They are built not to stand the test of time, basically. Don't know if it's fair to say they're built to break as such. You do know about the glass, actually, okay? So if they are built to break at some point, or they're not made to last, then how come in a world where we have on our planet not infinite resources, we're not trying to build something that lasts as long as possible, but instead use our resources mindlessly and try to exploit our planet instead and use up the resources? Feels weird having my own video open. I'm gonna open something else. I'm gonna go back to just chatting. I do agree, obviously, that we could use resources to make more robust products for sure. But that would mean less product, so but that would mean less profit. So how are you gonna convince companies to do that if it's less profit for them? If profit is the only motivating factor we have? Because that's essentially what you argued for. We have competition. The competition lies under profit. Because profit is the way that competition is measured. You can't convince companies to do that. It's one of the many quirks of capitalism. Exactly, so it's essentially a bad economic system. I would take iPhones which bake after 4 years over Gulag, so hi? You sound like AI. Okay, bye-bye. I wanted to discuss that with you, but you had to slow through. Sorry for interrupting, Reginald. I lost what I wanted to say. I would take iPhones which wake up after 4 years over gulags now. So the argument here is gulags. Would you say that gulags are comparable to, for example, prisons in the US? Or how would you define that? Or do you think prisons in the US are more fair? Taking the US in this case as example. We need a bullshit bingo for communism. That would be kind of funny, yeah. If I do more debates, we can do that for sure. Nope, you think they're not comparable, so you're saying gulags are worse. Gulags are political prisons, essentially. Anyone who speaks out against the communist state or is an agitator gets sent to the gulag. Okay. I agree with you, that's bad and that's bullshit. So I think that's a stupid system to have done that. I completely agree, and I believe the fact that we send people to prison and not to reform, but instead to just sit out some time, there is bullshit in both systems. So I agree with you with that. I do believe that we would have had iPhones as well, because as you remember maybe not remember, but as you see in history, till 1919 it was a race on who was making more scientific advances, so I believe that the communistic system would have reached iPhones or whatever kind of equivalent at some point too. However, what I wanted to ask you, would you say it's legal, for example, to make your own socialist state? Also, by the way, communist system pretty much requires gulags, else it collapses. For example, if someone starts practicing capitalism under the system, then will corner Marx and cripple the political system. Yeah, there's a lot of hypocrisies, but we can continue discussing on the topics that you are speaking on. You think if someone starts their own company in communist world, that the communist world would instead start collapsing? How would that be possible? How are you gonna motivate people to work for you when people have all their needs already fulfilled? In other words, communism has massive restrictions on freedoms. I think you have a lot more freedom when your basic needs are fulfilled. Because the essential of communism, as I said earlier, is that everyone contributes according to their ability and everyone gets according to their needs. That's the ideology. Pay them more money to work under you. Okay, so what are they gonna do with that money if everything is essentially being received? You don't need money in that system. So what are you gonna buy with it? From the communist market? Capitalist market? Everything is receivable already. Everything that you want, you will get according to your needs. Because what you get for free are simple necessities. So you asked me earlier how the communist system was reached. We agreed on the fact that socialism is a step required to reach communism. Now you are arguing against communism. But all your arguments are bringing would maybe work against socialism at best. So maybe you should stick to that, because the arguments you're currently arguing for against communism would not work. That would be bullshit. Luxury still exists under communism because everything that is wanted by the common people will be made possible. How would my arguments not work? There is no incentive to make money because you will be able to get whatever you want, not just what you need. I need to pee real quick. I apologize. I'll be right back. It's just a minute. But I've been holding it in for too long. Hello. I'm back. Apologies for the wait. I am running ads. Please let me know if you're currently an ad so if you can hear me. I did not say the currently impossible. I said that we need to have a socialistic phase to set it up, as Kimmy also just repeated. And that's how it was also defined under Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. So in a socialistic world, let's argue for the fact everyone has food, everyone has whatever they need to survive on a daily basis, apartment, etc. Now imagine, all kids in a school class have a phone and are inside a group, and one person inside the school class does not have a phone and thus cannot partake in the social things. So you can argue that a phone, or a smartphone in this case, is a necessity and is a need. So the state or the community would take care that everyone is able to have a phone. Yes, there might not be the selection of having Apple, Samsung, whatever kind of bullshit there is. There would just be one type, maybe different sizes for each. They need different colors, etc., so you can express yourself. And this would be provided to every citizen, because it is indeed a necessity. So if you're using communism as a stand-in for free, perfect society where you get infinite resources, then obviously capitalism can't compare to that. No, it is what we as people can reach. It is what we as a society can work for. Right now, we're working for having a rich person have 10 yachts. Instead, we could work for every person to have a phone. Ah, shit. Obviously, I give us a resource argument if you speak from some perfect society. Well, let's put it like this. Do you agree that we as a society, no matter which political side we are under, should learn to use our resources of the world as efficient as possible to make sure our species can survive as long as possible? Yes, it is not possible to debate against ideal communism because it is a perfect wrong. But I'm glad we can agree on that part at least. I agree we should be as efficient as possible. How do you think we can be as efficient as possible while using the least amount of resources as possible without losing luxury? Because the second we start losing, yes, resources, it would most likely mean losing luxury. Now we have to think about, do we want to lose the luxury of Jeff Bezos having his fourth yacht train to go under a bridge which needs to be demounted in the Netherlands? Or do we instead want every person on the world to have the ability to have a smartphone? I think it's very clear that we would rather have a smartphone for everyone than the fourth yacht for a singular person. Just as an extreme example for this, I understand this is an extreme example that everyone can agree with. Yes, it is a very hard question. But the answer is not as hard as you think, because the answer is essential plant economy. Because under essential plant economy, you would know exactly how many resources you use each year, because it is a plant. And you can plan how many people we have on Earth. It is a lot easier to plan for 8 billion iPhones, if we want to stick with iPhones. iPhones is a kinda hard one too because it get kinda out of date quickly, just 1% RAM, etc. magic. Okay, so then, I think that's a very good example, but if it is not profit-driven and you don't need people to buy new iPhones, instead you want everyone to have an iPhone for as long as possible, you could start building the products that instead of having to have an entire new phone, you could easily switch out the parts that get updated. For example, if the processor gets updated, you just get a replacement processor, the old one gets recycled and being reused. Do you think that's possible under capitalism? I don't think so. In a central planned economy, where you plan how the phones are built, you already plan that they're being able to be upgraded? I think that's a lot superior. Yes, I agree. In the short term, you lose, like short term being the transition period, you would lose individualism in the sense of the choice that you can make of which product you want. You do not have the choice to take the product you want. You would instead get a product that is optimized and as good as possible. But planning is doing a lot of hard work for you here. Yes, of course it is hard to implement. I'm not saying that communism is easy to implement. I don't expect communism to ever exist during my lifetime. But whether or not it is easy to make, it can still be something to strive for, right? I believe that is something I can want. I can want for every person to be happy as possible. I can want for every person to be able to eat and not have to worry about the next day, etc. I think this would also in long term fix our low birth rate problems, because happy people that feel secure, mostly secure, they'll feel more likely to. What is your stance on AI? Because AI central padding, I think, is the only feasible way to use this kind of system. Communist types seem to be against AI in my experience. No. No one I know that is on the communist side disagrees with AI, because most people believe that AI can take a lot of work and AI is very worker focused. We could have a lot of jobs taken over by AI without losing any kind of production. Just straight up increasing efficiency. There's two reasons why communists are against AI. It's because it is being used to replace workers and make stuff more profitable without paying the worker, was just leaving workers jobless. So AI replacement can only happen in a system where each worker can have a secure form of being able to continue living afterwards without the pay of his previous job. But it is essentially something to strive for in a communist world. It is, of course, the goal for humanity to work as least as possible. And lastly, as Kimi stated, the creative part, like art forms, movies, textbooks, books, should still be left to humans because art is art. I think UBI is gonna become inevitable when workers are replaced en masse. What is UBI? I don't know that word. When I Google it, it just says Ubisoft, and I don't think that's what you're talking about. Every single person gets payment from the government. Okay, so it's unemployment. I don't know. Something with unemployment. Yeah. It's bedingungsloses Grundeinkommen, unconditional basic income. Okay, yeah, that's it. Unconditional basic income. I agree, yes. And that money comes from a source made by AI. But what you're saying right now is essentially a socialist approach. I 100% agree with those takes you just make. Those are something to strive for as humanity, but those are socialist takes. Those are socialist adaptations towards capitalism to make it more social. Money comes from sources made by AI. Exactly. It's not really unemployment. It's kind of closer to the communist idea of free goods for all citizens. Exactly, yes. Yes, I fully agree. I'm glad. That's nice. AI was meant to make life easier and leave the humans was tend to do art. Right now it makes life hard and takes over in making art. Yep, that is unfortunately true. I believe in the long term, most hard works can be replaced with AI or just robots. Some things don't need any form of intelligence. I just find it interesting that some comments are against AI when it's clearly going to push us towards socialism. Well, the thing is, some communists also think Stalin was a good person, so I don't think you can combine communist people as one when it's very clear that Stalin was a bad person overall, which might have had some good ideals at some point but never acted towards those. I mean, AI does allow more people to get into art as it empowers everyone. No, I think no, Kimmy, I think it's right what they're saying. The point that Reginald is saying is that they could take over jobs from normal people. No, okay, no, I misunderstood. Because everyone can make art, no, not just people with lots of free time or people who were lucky to have parents which encourages as a kid. Well, the thing is, you don't need to be good at art to make art. That's a Captain's concept, right? Essentially, it comes down to the fact that you can, in quotations, you can only make art. You can only make art if it's good art. You're not allowed to share your art if it's shit, because then you're being talked down upon. But I think any person that wants to do art, even if it's not good art, should be able to make art. No one is making art with AI, you're creating an image. No, I agree with Kimmy's statement. Typing prompts into a machine to then have them generate an image according to your liking is not the base definition of art. No, I'm not saying it's just because it's AI. Okay, art definition is the expression or application of human creative skills and imagination, typically in a visual form such as painting or sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power. Then point their creative skill and imagination and expression or application. I believe if you wanted to learn art, you should be able to learn it and just paint the way you want, regardless of how it looks. Does take skill to generate good images, does take imagination to come up with prompts. Okay, then let's argue on a different point. Using AI to create images is a form of self-expression, but it is not the same as creating an art piece from scratch, as it is painting, sculpturing, drawing, and it's a completely different category of doing something. And it should not be replacing artists at the pace it's currently done. So generating an image is taking as much power as charging a phone. That is true. But I don't think that is part of the current argument right now. And I agree that it is and feels mostly soulless. At best, it can be used to make flyers, etc. You're using it to make stuff like flyers, where you just place stuff in certain positions. Some AI is inarguably aesthetically beautiful because it imitates something beautiful. Essentially, right? It took the work that someone else did at some point and imitates it. Why are my eyes closed? We're going in circles here. I don't believe in souls, I was arguing. Can soulless position another descriptive term for a talent lacking some abstract thing? I don't understand that sentence. Well, I think what it comes down to is that AI images are not art. They are replicating art with human input to replicate it as close as possible to what the human desires in that moment, which using prompts. It is a skill to use prompts, however, it is not a form of art to use the prompt. Okay, let's go back to a topic we can agree on. So if you say that planned economy to keep humanity more alive as a whole, which can be calculated and organized by AI to fulfill everyone's needs, you're essentially agreeing with that statement to be making that possible, right? Good, good, good. Getting super sleepy in a bed, yeah, I'm also stopping soon. AI doesn't copy directly in the way you're implying. Yeah, because AI is smart enough to learn from several thousands of images made by artists and then imitate that as a whole. Well, essentially what it comes down to, I don't believe in a world where there's no profit to be made from art, because art does not have to be profitable for someone to make art. I believe the least amount of people would choose to make art in quotations, with an AI. I think most people that are interested in art would take a pencil or some colors or a sculpture and work on that if the profit did not play a role in it. That is fine. Okay, so we'll all work towards my social world, and next time we will argue more on this. And maybe we will make you a comrade someday. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate. Guys, you're not arguing properly. You guys are arguing lazy. Go to bed, both of you, because I'm ending now anyway. We can have a nice argument next time about. I believe we made some progress on both sides. And I'll leave it at that. Okay, lastly, free everyone suffering. Don't let people suffer. Don't let animals suffer. Do as much as you can for everyone to live a better life. And then